According to Dr. Albert Mirabian, he identifies that communication has three important parts. Okay? In any conversation, it comprises these three parts. The first one, sabi niya, verbal. Okay? In every communication, in every conversation, the verbal part holds 7% weight. Alright? So ano yung verbal? Ito yung words na ginamit. Okay? So yung congratulations na sinabi ni Marites, that's the verbal part. Alright. Ooh, and that's just 7%. Dr. Albert said the vocal part holds 38%. That's the weight of the vocal part. So what is the vocal part? So halimbawa sinabi ni Marites, congratulations. Huwag niyo titingnan yung mukha ko. So sinabi lang ni Marites, congratulations. Listen to the tone. Listen to her volume. Pay attention especially to the tone, which is, ito yung kinu-consider natin the emotion of the speech. That's the tone, right? If you listen to it, it doesn't really match with the word congratulations. Hindi siya nagmamatch. Sabi, parang padabog eh. Congratulations. Pero tinatakot ka pa, no, Rachel? Congratulations. Okay? So that's the vocal part. Ito yung kung paano sinabi through intonation, volume, and the tone. These things, we are going to discuss this tomorrow. Okay? The vocal part. All right. So, there's another big chunk. Ano kaya yun? This holds the heaviest weight in every conversation. And that's the visual part. Okay? Visual part of communication. It's how we look when we say it. So, going back to my example earlier, sabi ni Rachel, kaya nasabi ni Rachel, plastic. Because if you pay attention to how she looks, it doesn't really match with the word congratulations. Hindi siya nagmamatch eh. Okay? The visual, the body language, the facial expression. Ayun. So if you try to think about it, when you talk to your customers, your coworkers, or any of your audience, when you talk to them, you have to not only pay attention to the words that are coming out from your mouth, but you also need to pay attention to how you say it, and most importantly, how you look when you say it. Okay? Does that make sense to everyone? All right. This is why I emphasized this earlier. All right. So let's say my words are positive and my vocal part is positive because I'm going to use a friendly tone. Here's another example. I'm using my phone. Okay? So here comes my customer. The customer said, Ma'am, pwede po ba akong mag-update ng aking mga dependents? Ay, magandang tanong po yan. So, pwede po kayo mag-update ngayon. Pwede ko po kayong tulungan. Gusto niyo po ba? Yes po. Sasabihin niya, opo, gusto ko pong, kailangan ko po na tulong ninyo. Okay, don't worry. Madali lang yan. So, ayan o. My words are positive. The vocal part is also good. Why? I smiled. So that's why my tone was friendly. Napaka-friendly ng tone ko, diba? Smile pa ako. But what about the visual part? Earlier, sinabi niyo sa akin na, I felt hindi ako importante. I felt hindi importante yung message ko dahil nakahawak si ma'am sa cellphone habang kausap ako. Do you think your customers would feel the same way? Anyone? What do you think? Julie. Do you think your customer would feel the same way? Feeling niya bastos yung ginawa ko or inappropriate yung nakahawak ako cellphone? Eh, positive naman yung pagsasalita ko eh. Nakasmile pa ako. What do you
Opo,
think?
ma'am. Parang hindi nagpipay ng attention.
That's right, Julie. Okay. So, pay close attention to the 3 V's of communication. Alin dyan yung pinakamabigat? Obviously, it's the visual part. Kahit roll lang ng eye, right? That speaks volume. Okay? That speaks a lot about your company. And remember what I said earlier? Your customers may forget your name, but they will never forget PhilHealth. They will never forget the experience that they had through you. You are PhilHealth. You are the walking brand. So you make sure that you take care of these 3 V's of communication. Okay. Meron naman akong disclaimer dito. Yung verbal part na yan, magiging malaki yan, yung percentage, kung negative yung sinasabi mo. For example, profanity or nagmumura ka sa customer, yung verbal na part, lalaki yan. Okay? Again, it depends on the situation. But in a normal conversation na you use positive words, you use encouraging words, so that verbal is just going to take like 7%. Okay? If you're using positive words. Does that make sense? But again, it stretches, it becomes bigger kapag inappropriate yung words na ginamit. But in a common conversation, this is the percentage of the 3 V's of communication. So watch out tayo sa visual part. Okay. So what comprises the verbal part? 7% lang siya, pero we have to pay attention still to our words, to what language we are using when we're talking to your customers. So kapag yung customer nyo ay nakikipag-usap in Tagalog or Filipino, bakit kailangan nyo mag-Ingles? Okay? Lalo na kapag alam nyo na hindi siya sanay magsalita in English. Right? Paano kung yung customer ay nag-English? So try your best to also speak in English. Pag hindi kaya, go for Filipino English. Word choice is also part of the verbal part of communication. Ito yung diction or word choice of words. Okay? So, if you know that the person is a newbie, kung alam nyo na bagong miyembro siya, bakit ka gagamit ng acronyms? Bakit ka gagamit ng abbreviation kung hindi mo pa in-explain kung ano yung, let's say, MDR? Sabihin mo, wag kayo mag-alala, sir. Paki-fill out na dito sa MDR. Minsan yung customer, ano po yung MDR? So if you really need to use abbreviations and acronyms, explain it first. Para hindi siya awkward sa customer. Hindi din siya ma-confuse. Okay? So explain it first before you use the acronyms and the abbreviation. Obviously, we need to also follow proper grammar. Alright? Halimbawa, I always hear the word fill up. Fill up, isusulat ko siya dito sa chat box. So, wag natin gamitin yung fill up. Fill up the form. It should be fill out the form. So, starting today, wag na tayo magsasabi ng fill up. Okay? Usually, obviously, ginagamit yung fill up kapag may liquid. Okay, fill it up. Fill up my cup. Okay. Right? Don't worry, ganyan din ako dati. Sinasabi ko fill up. Kasi yun yung naririnig ko, maski sa teachers ko. Alright? But that's grammatically incorrect. So we should correct that. We should say fill out. Are we good? Batch 4. Fill out. Starting today, wag na mag-fill up. Pag nagagasolina, yes, of course, you have to say fill up. I-fill up mo yung gasolina. So, since wala naman tayong binubuhos na liquid kapag nag-fill out, so fill out the form. We're good? Okay. Let's move on to the vocal part. Ito yung sinasabi kong, how you said it, how you say it. Kapag ganito ako magsalita all throughout the training, excuse me, baka mabingi na yung mga participants mo, or kung ganito naman ako magsalita, siguro hindi niyo ako maintindihan kasi napakababa ng aking volume. So, ayoko gumamit ng ganitong boses. Does that make sense to everyone? So, I was just demonstrating the impact of using loud volume and low volume when you're talking to your customers. So, adjust appropriate volume. Pagkausap niya ibingi, yes, you need to turn up the volume, right? If you are just talking to people, let's say in this kind of training, you don't have to scream because you have a microphone. All right? For the pacing, I believe you guys would not understand me if I speak too fast. So that is why I need to make sure that my pacing is appropriate. So I don't think you guys really understand me if I keep this kind of pace, right? Or if I use a painfully slow pace in this training, we might finish next month. All right? Does that make sense? So, just appropriate pacing. Meron yata, I think that was batch 3. Ay, no. Batch 2. Yung pacing was a bit slow. Okay? So, you just have to make sure you watch your video first before submitting it to me. Okay? Make sure that the pacing is appropriate. Imagine, in your final presentation, imagine that you were talking to a live person. Okay? Because I will be your audience. If I'm going to watch it, I'll be your audience, of course. Right? Make sure that the pacing is just appropriate, not too fast and not too slow. Okay? Mahirap naman siguro kung gagamit ako ng American English accent. I love that accent because I got used to it for 10 years. And then my boss told me, Nova, you can't use that accent when you're training the trainees because it can create misunderstanding. And that is why he is right. That is why I need to adjust my accent. I needed to make sure I'm using the Filipino English accent. Tapos, Filipino English din yung medium. Okay? It's the same when you are talking to your customers. Make sure na hindi mo sila gagamitan ng a specific accent that is quite confusing. Okay? In Region 4, yung Filipino lang yung language na ginagamit. Tama ba ako? Filipino lang. Walang dialect? May dialect, wala. Wala, no? Filipino talaga. Tagalog. Okay, I got it. All right. So, of course, energy. I don't think you would pay attention to this training if my energy was low. Like, I feel like I'm showing you that I'm not interested in this training when I am really interested. Or masyado namang high yung energy ko. Okay, guys, let's go. Let's do this. All right. Masyadong hindi siya appropriate. It's the same thing when you're talking to your customers. Make sure that you adjust. Tamang energy lang, hindi yung nakainom ka ng 10 energy drink, right? Or walang energy at all. Smile. That's the very first thing that you should do. You should smile when you talk to people. Okay? People look at the face. Smile. All right. Confidence. How do we make sure that we are confident? Number 1, believe in yourself. Anything is possible in your life. Okay? Does that make sense? So, later, pagkagising ninyo, get a mirror and then look at yourself in the mirror. Siguro dahil first day pa, dapat alone lang kayo kasi baka makita ng ibang tao. Okay? So here's what you need to do. Look at yourself in the mirror and you say, wow, alam mo ikaw, ang gwapo mo kahapon. Pero ngayon, mas gwapo ka. Right? You get my point? You should be the very first person who should say something good about yourself. Hindi yung pagkagising mo pa lang, Monday. No, 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 no. Be grateful. Right? Sino ba yung nagsabi kanina? I think General. Oo, General, sabi ni General, good health to everyone. Ang ganda ng greeting ni General kanina. Sabi niya, ano ba yun? Malusog na umaga. Tama ba ako, General? Ano sinabi mo kanina?
Sabi ko po, isang malusog na umaga po sa ating lahat.
Ayun, tama. Sabi ni General, isang malusog na umaga po sa atin. Dapat ganun yung mga salita na lumalabas sa bibig mo the moment na nagising ka. Guys, kung naniniwala ka sa Diyos, thank you, Lord, I'm alive. Another chance to be closer to my dreams. Right? That's how you should shift your mindset. Change your mindset. Right? Mag-thank you ka kung ano meron ka ngayon. Pagkain, bahay, pamilya. Kung ano meron ka. Hindi yung tinitingnan mo kung ano wala ka. Believe in yourself. Confidence. Okay? Does that make sense? Look at yourself in the mirror. You know what? You're so beautiful. Okay? Next. Pitch. Who is familiar with DD? Sino yung familiar ng Dexter's Laboratory dito? Yung cartoon siya, Dexter's Lab, hindi na. Okay. Sige, mga anime na lang or gano'n. Sinasabi nila ganito, Hoy! Okay, guys! Let's start our training! So, masyadong mataas. The pitch is, you're getting it from here, sakit sa sentido, right? Or, you instead get it from here. Get it from your chest. Moderate. Modulated. Okay? Next is your audio. This is a virtual training. So, dapat check your microphone. Meron sa batch 2 na nasira yung recording niya dahil lang sa audio, dahil lang sa microphone. Maganda sana yung presentation pero harsh yung sound ng microphone. So, siguro humira muna ka sa kapitbahay or humira muna sa kapamilya. Alright, just to make sure your vocal is awesome.